Toronto's amazing. You guys are great. Amazing.
This is the kind of movie that can be open to so many different interpretations, so many different reactions, but you started by talking about anger, rage, something that fueled it. What was it?
Well, I talked a little bit about it. I wanted to make a film from the point of view of our mother. And I don't think the story of our journey with our mother is over yet. So this is very much a cautionary tale as well as a reflection. But, it's like, I got from one of your greatest, Noemi Klein, sent me a direct message today saying, it's ironic that you're premiering tonight and Irma is touching ground down in Florida. So, we're seeing all of this around us. And so I was just inspired to sort of use my passion of what I feel about that to making a movie.
Do you want to talk a little bit about what it was like to play all of our mother, Jennifer? That's a big role.
It was painful. It was. It was unique. Everything about this experience was unique. The 3 months that we all had to talk and work together and get to know the house was unique. Finding this character in the house, I found the biggest tool for me was the connection, was the idea that the house and I were the same organism. And so that ended up being a bigger tool for me, being barefoot, being grounded, feeling and touching the house. But yeah, it hurt.
I think for most audiences, as you watch the film, you're discovering things. There's so much you don't know yet as you watch it, and it reveals more and more as it goes. For all of you who were performing these roles, how much did you want to hold back from what we were supposed to know about your characters, and how much was it okay to reveal as we were performing it? We're not quite sure what the relationship is, who you represent when we begin watching the film, and then things begin to reveal. But at what point do you let us know that?
Ed's a good one to answer that, which is, I think everyone was aware of the allegory, the actors were, and also there was also a real story going on as well, which I wanted to ground the audience. But it was fun to give them the room to bounce between those things. So I just had an easy communication with Ed where I'd say, make it a little bit more bizarre, and he at least seemed to know a direction to go in that made sense.
It was a trip, man. I don't know. I was glad to be a part of it. I find it an extraordinary experience watching this thing. I'm still not quite sure what to think of it, I take my hat off to these two for persevering. Michelle and I were lucky enough to get out of there halfway through, But no, it was great working with Darren. He's very, very, very specific and particular, and we rehearsed the thing really well. We had all the 3 floors laid out, with tape and stuff, and it was very, very specific in terms of what we were doing. But personally, as an actor, I just trying to play the reality of the moment, and if Darren needed it. This is a strange couple that comes to visit, and so there's a certain, Michelle and I kind of had fun, actually, playing these idiots, not idiots, but, yeah.
Inconsiderate people.
Yeah, inconsiderate people. Anyway, I don't know what else to say. Javier, take it away, buddy.
Basically, I didn't know what I was doing, and
This is not going well.
No, it's not. And I don't even speak English, so imagine. So basically, he decided in the editing room how my character is gonna be. No, but the good thing is that there were many, many layers to fill. And that gave us room to really imagine a lot of things and go there on set and create something. and always following his direction because he was the one who knew what this movie was about. And I knew as well. Why are you laughing?
You say that now.
No, it's true. But he was the one who had the image of the house and the story in his head while we were being taken by hundreds and thousands of people. So, yeah, we just follow the orders.
Darren, this movie really pays homage to a lot of film history as well. There's these beautiful Polanski elements from his apartment films, The Tenant, Repulsion, Rosemary's Baby, and then it just gets wilder and wilder and wilder, and then it seems like you're in horror territory. Did you have a sense of the tone that you wanted to pitch this to, or were you going beyond genre here?
I've never really quite fit into genre. I love genre film. You know, Pi was just a thriller at its core, but then it had all these other ideas attached to it. The Fountain wasn't really a genre, but it had a little sci-fi, a little romance in it. The Wrestler, one of the biggest letdowns of my career was not being eligible for the ESPN award because they didn't consider us a sports film, and I was really pissed off about that. We almost couldn't get Black Swan made because it wasn't a ballet movie or a horror film. And of course, Noah wasn't your regular biblical movie. So I like genre tropes very much because I think they make audiences feel safe or scared, and they know sort of how to react to them. But I think they should be used loosely to sort of push it forward. The only kind of rule I had was there was the allegory that made sense. And then I thought about the Bible as a way of structuring it. And then it just sort of all made sense, and I unleashed it very much in a dream state. It was like a 5-day writing period. And then we spent a long time trying to change it and figure out what was making it have that energy. But every time we kind of played with the structure, the kind of dream logic just sort of crumbled away. But one thing that was missing was character, and that's where Javier and Jen really helped a lot. They came in, and Javier was really insistent on figuring out how he can express both his love and his, need for even more love past her in every scene. And it creates this great longing, I think, in the film, and then Jennifer was able to respond to that. So that all kind of developed as a team. And then Ed and Michelle came in, and it was clear that they were going to be very fun together and comedic and sexy and all these other elements. And I remember thinking about Michelle, she was like, what's the main thing of the character? And I thought about Adam and Eve, and I thought about what was Eve? Eve was mischievous. And that's kind of where she started, and then she sort of took it that way. She apologizes for not being here because she has a family emergency. So she wanted me to say that. That's why she's not here.
We have time for one or two questions from the audience. Maybe we'll go here first.
First off, congratulations on the film. As Ed mentioned earlier, there was a lot of rehearsals. So Jennifer, your character, went through a lot, to say the least. Which was the most difficult scene to film?
Question is for Jennifer, which was the most difficult scene to film for you?
I think probably the one that you can imagine. I don't want to say anything and give it away, but you know.
It was
which one, right?
It was the scene where she.
I woke up to a surprise and ran down the stairs. That was the worst feeling I've ever had in my life. That was awful. And I don't know if I would do a movie that made me feel that way ever again. I did it. I'm done.
Let's go right here. Yes? Oh, an interpretation of the crystal at the beginning of the end, does it symbolize Javier's character's masculinity? and also fossil fuels and our dependence on them.
That's good. I mean, anyone else have a theory about what it could be? Throw it out, what you think. Yeah, what else? Yeah, you see.
Are you
That's
gonna
it's
say
good.
it?
I'm not going to say what it is. That's you could.
Can I?
No, you may not. But that's the idea. I mean, it actually does mean something for all of us. We all talked about what it is, but it's great that people are reading into it and talking about and debating it.
Does it matter to you that people have the correct interpretation of this movie, or is any interpretation okay for you?
Well, I think we all knew what we were doing, and I think I enjoy where there's room for different interpretations. I think that's exciting, especially when you're playing in a dream state or a nightmare state. You know, those things are just by nature open to interpretation. I think, I just hope no one gets offended by it and understands we were actually looking for the light, not trying to delve in the darkness.
Okay. Let's go right here. Question for Jennifer: how were you able to stay so focused even though the character is so close, the camera is so close to you through the whole film?
Well, I was working with the best actors in the world, even though they were in really uncomfortable positions, trying to be as close to the camera as possible. The 3-month rehearsal process again really helped all of us get used to that intrusiveness of the camera. Normally we get a little bit more breathing room, but that camera was really damn close.
All right, time for just one more. Let's go up here. Yes, in the center.
Was the hardwood floor cold?
We could do better than that.
Yeah, we're gonna take one more.
So important, he had to cup his hands
I know.
and shout it.
Let's go right over here. Yes.
He was watching the same movie you are, guys, and that's what he came up with.
It's all right. There are no bad questions.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
no, they're all good questions. Sorry, sir. The floor was warm.
Go ahead.
I
the
thought
actors.
Darren had severe psychological problems. Sorry, she asked what first went through my mind when I read the script. I thought it was a masterpiece, but that there was something seriously wrong with him.
She wasn't
Maybe
wrong.
started in childhood, I didn't know.
Javier, Ed, your first thoughts on reading the script?
I'm telling you, I don't speak English. I can read it.
Well, I had to go over to Daryl's apartment because he wouldn't let the script out of his house. So I did. I went over there and he had some bagels and some coffee and said, "Here's the script." And he left me alone for a while. And I read it. Then I said, "Okay, you want me to be a part of this vision of yours? I'm not quite exactly positive what it's about ultimately, but he had talked to me a bit about it, and I understood where he was coming from, and I said, yeah, man, let's go. I'll be happy to join you on this ride. So I did.
I think that's the most important thing. You just enjoy the ride of the movie. You know, it doesn't really matter exactly what everything means, but I think enjoying it is really the key. It's a very exciting film. We are going to have to end it there, unfortunately, so I'll just ask you to join me in thanking
Thank you,
again,
Toronto.
Javier Bardem, Jennifer
you, Ted.
Lawrence, Ed Harris, and Darren Aronofsky.
Thank you.